And we are back. Pokemon Sun, Hardcore Nuzlocke. The run continues. We are only using Pokemon from Alola in this run. And in this particular video, we are going to be working our way to the second trial, the second Totem Battle, and see if we can beat them without losing anybody. For our Verdant Cavern encounter, it is the Alolan Diglett. Chuck the Pokeball and secure it. We get the ground steel typing for this version. Let's see how it pans out. For our Route 3 encounter, it is going to be the Cutiefly. We got a Bug Fairy typing here. Chuck the Great Ball and secure it. All right, and then in Melly Meadow, we get the Oricorio encounter, chuck the Great Ball and secure it. We're working with an electric flying typing here. And then upon completing this battle or this encounter here, it looks like we're going to get the first evolution of the run. And it's going to be our little woodpecker here, the Picky Peck. And it's going to turn into the middle stage evolution of this regional bird. And what are we working with? It is the Trumbeak. Looking pretty good there, and I'm pretty sure this one turns into the big toucan, so I am excited for that. Let's see if we can keep them alive long enough to see that evolution come to life. All right, let's continue with the run. And it is now time for our third rival battle in this run. We've got How coming out here with his Pikachu and also his starter. We chuck out Oricorio. We got the electric flying versus just the electric type. And let's see, we're probably going to pivot into the Diglett for that ground typing. First time using the Alolan Diglett with the little hair here, eating that quick attack, no problem. That steel typing coming in clutch in a lot of these scenarios. And the Pikachu absolutely falls to one critical hit magnitude. Ridiculous stuff there. And now we have the Rowlet coming down, grass flying, cute little owl. And we can't use the magnitude, it doesn't touch it. So we're probably going to pivot back into the Oricorio, maybe even our Litten or Trumbeak. We've got options right here, right now. How is not that hard at this point in the game. I'm very interested to see how he scales further down the line. If there's going to be like a big berry fight towards the end, or maybe more like Blue in Pokemon Leaf Green if he's got a couple clutch battles as the game progresses. But right now, the cute little owl's doing what he can with the pecks, but Litten is just tanking them and responding with super effective embers, and How is no more. Next on the menu is a grand trial fight against Hala here, or Hala. Big boy comes down. He's got a team of, I believe it is 3 Pokemon, and he sends out the Mankey first. So we've got a fighting type against our electric flying, and I am feeling pretty good about this. I think our odds are in our favor as we go for a stab. Super effective air cutter, and the Mankey is gone. Didn't even get a chance to attack. And then the Makahita comes down. Brawly is smiling somewhere in Pokemon Emerald right now. The flinch comes down from the fake out. Good stuff there, but we respond with another stab. Super effective air cutter. The big boy holds on, gets an arm thrust off. He gets 1. He gets 2. Make it 3, potentially 4. And how about a 5 roll? Absolutely, but they're all not very effective. And Oricorio continues to dance with his pom-poms for yet another air cutter with a fadeaway crit on top. And that just leads to the ace Crabrawler here. Crabrawler, how do you even say that? As the air cutter comes down, almost one-shots the ace the pursuit in response. Some good damage, but it's not enough as the yellow bird continues to dance. The potion responding here gets the crab back to full HP. Another air cutter comes down, and the Crabrawler is just holding on for dear life as another fadeaway crit from the air cutter finishes off this grand trial against Hala or Hala, however you say his name, and we are on with the run. And for our Route 4 first encounter, it is the Mudbray, the cute little horse here that's going to turn into, I believe, Mudsdale. Very fun play on words with the Clydesdale horse name there, but we do secure this encounter, and we can add a very nice, strong ground-type Pokemon to the team. All right, while training on some random trainers right there on Route 4, our starter gets the evolution. Our tiny little Litten is turning into the Torracat, which is just one of the best looking middle stage starters I have ever seen, really. That is fantastic color scheme, and I love the confident stance there. Really digging this starter line so far, and I know it does turn into the Incineroar, so it stands up at the end and looks like the sumo wrestler, sumo fighter, or just wrestler in general, which is fine. It's just that middle stage is looking really good right now. Let's keep it going. It is now time to take on our rival Hao for the fourth time in this run so far. He's still working with two Pokemon. He does have the Pikachu and his starter still here. We've got Torracat versus his Pikachu, and Pikachu comes in with a quick attack, gets a little bit of damage, but the Fire Fang almost one-shotting. However, the static in response, that's not great. You don't love to see it, especially since that buffs the Electro Ball damage, meaning paralysis making us so much slower, and then the slower you are, the more damage the electric ball does for the Pikachu. But we just pivot right into Mudbray, our ground type horse, and we are working with 4 ground type moves here, no problem. And I don't believe Pikachu is going to be around to see the rest of the battle as he falls. So he's going to send out his starter here, the Rowlet line. I'm pretty sure he's got it upgraded to the second evolution as well, so I'm very curious to see what that looks like. I have seen Decidueye before, but I'm not too familiar with Dartrix. Looking pretty cool there. Okay. Very confident, very fun-looking owl, almost like a Joker mask there, as we pivot into our own bird here with the Trumbeak just to eat the Razor Leaf. Not very effective there, as it is the grass type against the flying, and we have a super effective Stab Pluck. We are faster. It doesn't even get into 2-shot range unless that was a low roll, but the tackle coming down doesn't do too much. We don't really have to worry about it as we bring Dartrix to the red. Another Razor Leaf coming down. It is not a critical hit, but we are holding on. Trumbeak fades away with a Pluck, and Hao is definitely getting more formidable as we move on through this run. Let's just keep the party coming. All right, so Gladion, this guy comes out of nowhere, and I'm not sure what's going on here. It does look like he is part of Team Skull. He's looking really edgy and really angry, but he just chucks out a Zubat, so I think we'll be okay as Meowth comes down, getting really close to turning into that Persian, which I'm very excited for. The Technician just paying dividends so far. Zubat cannot be flinched, so Fake Out does not benefit from that. However, we do get some good chip off the top as a Stab Bite fade away right there on the Zubat. And now he sends out Type Null, which I feel like I've seen this Pokemon before, but I could not for the life of me discern what typing he was. So it looked like he was a dark type, maybe a normal type. I didn't even know if he was more than one type here, since I just am so unfamiliar with these games. So I just want to keep Meowth safe, so I get him out of there as the tackle comes down and does a good chunk of damage against our electric flying bird here. Air Cutter comes down in response, does also a decent amount of damage. So we're just trading blows here. We really need Air Cutter to land and potentially crit if possible, but another tackle comes down and now we are dead to crit. And at some point here, I am going to pause and look up Type Null's typing and stats just to see like what is going on, because I really don't want to lose anybody. And so I'm really just taking my time here. And I do believe right here I find out that Type Null is actually just a normal type, meaning these tackles are doing stab damage, which makes a lot more sense. But that's also really bad since Oricorio's physical defense isn't the highest, so anyone lower than his physical defense, or hers I should say, is going to be looking really rough. So the fact that I swapped out Meowth when I did is just kind of putting us in a very tough situation. Type Null's already about 60% HP, so I am just like, I may have gotten myself into a lot of trouble here to where I have to sacrifice for a clean swap, so I'm really thinking about this. And on a side note here, as I'm trying to look this up on the side, Type Null is looking very cool. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of backstory and lore with him as well, with the whole Team Skull storyline. But we're just going to pivot into a Growl and try to keep the rest of the team as safe as possible, as if that crit, we did lose our bird, but I figured if we could Growl and make his tackles do less damage in the long run here, we could get away with swapping around more. However, critical hits are going to be absolutely devastating. Another tackle comes down, but Meowth is able to hold on, potentially because of the Growl, and we're going to be able to get a free Fake Out in as well. Some nice damage right there. So it was a swap that definitely worked, and now what do we do here? Do we go for another Growl? We actually use the Meow speed stat to get yet another Growl in for free, and we hold on with 3 HP, and now Type Null is operating on a -2 attack clip, and we have such a safe swap going into the little pony here, which is beautiful. And now we can come in with a super effective double kick, potentially enough to finish the job. Does it get nulled down? It doesn't. Type null holds on with about 3, maybe 2 HP to its name. We're going to have to tank out another tackle, no critical hits to break through, and the double kick does finish this absolutely ridiculous fight out of nowhere. All right, and then for our Brooklet Hill encounter, it is going to be the cute and cuddly Wishy-Washy, just this tiny little fish. We chuck the netball and secure it. All right, we have completed the majority of the trial, and that means to finish it, we have to take on the Totem Pokemon. Here it is, our second Totem Battle, and it is this monster fish right here, right now. And that is Wishy-Washy, but it's got a very cool passive to where it takes a bunch of little Wishy-Washies and turns into this big old, almost shark-looking thing, as long as its HP is above, I believe, 25%. So we send out the little Tinkerbell here, the little cutie fly, and it gets absolutely slammed with a brine boosted by the rain there. So this is in the rain, making water type moves twice as hard hitting, and I do believe we are just going to sacrifice our cute little tiny little insect here, and we get massive damage onto both team members. We had critical hits there on the struggle bug, and if I'm not mistaken, it lowered both of their special attacks as well. So Cutie Fly is an absolute sacrifice. We never got to see what it evolved into. I believe it's called Rabombi. So very unfortunate. Fairy types are very fun to use and very cool to see, but the Oricorio comes down and is going to have to take over from here. It is electric typing as well, but we don't have an electric type yet in the run, as the Wishy-Washy gets the huge heal from the Citrus Berry. We take out his partner in crime, which is really nice. And as you can see, the Cutie Fly's special attack drop really doing some work there. However, another Pokemon comes in to support the Wishy-Washy, the Alomo Mola, the pink love disc right there, as the Wishy-Washy gets healed by the pink fish, and now we are in absolute trouble right now. This is terrible. The pink fish can just keep healing the Wishy-Washy until everything fades away, but it does pivot to a water gun there, and we lose Oricorio. We absolutely do, and now we are 2 Pokemon down. We only have 4 Pokemon left, and that being Torracat and the Mudsdale pre-evolution, the little pony there, both weak to water. So we only have 2 Pokemon neutral to water. No one resists. This is a terrible spot to be in, and I do believe we are going all in with the Meowth to potentially kill the pink fish with a fake out, so we can face this big behemoth one-on-one. And if we can get it to that 25% health mark, we will be able to basically tank it out, since it won't be hitting nearly as hard. So I think we're just going to go straight into the fake out, take out the supporting Pokemon, and that should just leave us in a 1v1 scenario here. That rain is just making this incredibly hard to win, as we potentially get a feint attack here as well. Might be getting rid of a move, but really Bite is just a good go-to, as it can flinch with that incredible speed stat. So we get rid of that. We don't need feint attack, and it goes for a growl, thankfully, and it didn't go for an attacking move. Now that is going to trim down our damage a little bit here, but again, we just need to get it below that 25% mark, and we get a monumental flinch here. We are just going to be biting down on this massive water fish, and we get another flinch. This is unreal. This is ungodly, as we go for 3 bites in a row, and it gets another growl. It is terrified of this little cat, this tiny little cat, as we get the 4th bite, and we don't get the flinch, so this is going to be a water-empowered water gun, and there is the passive backfiring, and this big monstrous fish turns into this tiny little guppy as Meowth fades away with a 5th and final bite. I can't believe it. Wow. And look at that. The Meowth is so happy. And on top of that, we get a crucial evolution as well. So we defeat the second totem Pokemon. We get the Alolan Persian, but it did cost us. It cost us our flying bird there, Oricorio, as well as someone else had to die. The little tiny Cutie Fly as well. So all over the place. But my goodness, we did it. That is 2 totems down. I believe there are 7 in total. So I'll keep you posted on that. But as far as this video, I think that does it. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on the flip. Peace.